Good morning, self-lovers. It's so great to see you for this week's Love Note. I am Katie Phillips. I am the founder of the School of Self-Love, and I wrote a book called The Self-Love Affair, A Woman's Guide to a Daring and Mighty Life. And I've also actually produced 3 meditation albums, also called The Self-Love Affair. And the book and the meditation albums are available over on the website, so theschoolofself.love. Anyway, it's good to be with you today. So this week's Love Note is actually wrapping up a 5-part series. For the last 5 weeks, I've been sharing with you my favorite spiritual practices and my top 5. I hope you've managed to see them all. If you've not managed to get them, or maybe you're new to the School of Self-Love community, you can get the replays of them. They'll be on my blog on theschoolofself.love. They will be on YouTube, on the Daring and Mighty TV channel. And where else will they be? That's enough. I'll put them in my Facebook group as well, my private Facebook group, the Self-Love Hub. So they'll be there for you. You won't miss them. Week 1, we took a look at meditation. Week 2, we talked about creating a loving environment. Week 3, we looked at the importance of mental mastery and loving your mind. Week 4, we looked at the importance of being in your body and taking care of your physical self. And today, I want to talk to you about the importance of emotional expression. Really honoring and allowing how you feel. Our emotions, well, first of all, hold on, why is emotional expression a spiritual practice? You might ask. Well, I believe that the way our spirit communicates is through emotion. We're energetic beings. Our spiritual self is a beautiful bundle of energy. And emotion is, as the name suggests, it's energy in motion. It's the movement of the energy. It's the expression of the energy. And it is the way our spirit communicates. And if we would just take a little bit of time, if we would love ourselves enough to take a little bit of time every day to tune into how we feel, we're going to be able to connect with our true spiritual nature. We're going to receive guidance on what the next right move is for us. If you're feeling angry and resentful and dissatisfied, and you keep pushing it down because there's such uncomfortable feelings, and I get it, they are. If you keep pushing it down, you're missing what your spirit is trying to say. There's something going on in your life that's amiss, that's not true for you, it's not right for you, it doesn't feel good for you, you're off track somehow. And the more you ignore the dissatisfied feelings and the anger and the resentment and the anxiety or whatever, the sadness, whatever those uncomfortable feelings are, you're not being really honest with your very nature, and you're not allowing the reason why you're here on this earth to come through. You want to know what your purpose is, you've got to connect with your spiritual self. And you can do that by listening to your emotions and being guided by them. We're in such a habit in our society of pushing down our emotions. No one's really shown us how to express the uncomfortable ones. I know for me as a kid, and it's, I'm not blaming my parents, it's just kind of how it was. And but it's like, stop being difficult by being angry, stop being annoying, be quiet. Why are you upset? Stop crying. Your anger's annoying, your anger's confronting and difficult for us. I don't want to see it, don't want to hear it. Right? And we learn to push it down. Out and about in society, you can't just go have a tantrum in the middle of the street. A 2-year-old will, because they don't know different, and good on them. But we don't, and we never actually create a safe time and space to express really what we're really feeling. So, and here's the thing, by the way, when you're pushing down the uncomfortable emotions, you might think you're being really clever, and you might think you're getting away with not having to feel those yucky things. But the truth is, when you push down the uncomfortable emotions, you're also pushing down your joy and your happiness and your peace and all the good stuff, your excitement, your optimism. you're pushing it all down. You can't selectively turn off an emotion. You just can't. So you're kind of numbing yourself out. And that's not a great place to be either. When you really are brave, and I call it being daring and mighty, when you're daring and mighty enough to first of all stop and notice how you feel, and then honor those feelings and create really safe, and that's key word, safe space to express those feelings, whether it's to cry, whether it's to get really, really angry. I mean, I have a baseball bat and a big solid foam block in my cupboard. And if I'm angry, I will create, oh wait, I'm not going to do it when the kids are around or when I'm with a client. But when I have my home to myself, I'll get it out and I'll bash. And I will get angry about what I'm angry about, and I'll allow myself to release it. And usually through the crying or the wailing or the bashing, the screaming, you scream into your pillow, bash your pillow, but through the expression of the emotion, it's really quite miraculous what happens. It's really interesting that as you clear that out, your spirit can come through with more guidance, and it will help you to understand something. It's not something I find very easy to explain to you because it's so experiential. Suffice to say, when you can clear out the blocked emotions, you are creating space within you for your beautiful divine guidance to come in, for a beautiful inspiration to come in, to hear and feel and know what your next move is. You're creating the space for that. So emotional expression is really, really key. And I think, well, I've got some home play for you. I want you to finish this sentence. Today I feel ... That's all I want you to do. It's so basic, but I bet you will agree with me that you very rarely stop and actually really think about how you feel and just kind of like name it. And then once you've done that, like, what can you do to honor it, to have compassion for the way you feel? Because you're not feeling it for no reason. There is a reason. Even if the reason seems crazy or immature or whatever it is, often it's our inner child that there's some healing there to be done. And that's a lot of the work that we do at the School of Self-Love, is healing the inner child, healing those wounds from childhood that are coming up, sort of feeling unreasonable as an adult. But the first step is to just honor them, just notice them, name them, and then ask yourself with compassion, how could I create time and space to really express those today, and what do I need today to honor those feelings? You know, what can I do for myself that's really understanding and compassionate that this is where I'm at? You know, so really that's my invitation for you today. I hope you run with it. It is life-changing. And remember that no matter how horrible it feels when you're feeling those emotions, you will get to the other side. You've got to feel them to heal them. You know, you've got to feel to heal it. You've got to move through it. And even if it feels so horrible and so upsetting and so uncomfortable and so like you might die, you might not be able to get to the other side, I promise you will. You do get to the other side. If you need the support of a therapist or an expert or a coach, get that while you move through the emotions. You know, you've got to take responsibility for that. But I promise you that once you've allowed yourself to move through the emotion, what's on the other side is always miraculous, and it's always transformational, and it's always leading you to what your spirit wants. That's why this is a spiritual practice. It is taking you to your next, whatever that is, okay? So please don't ignore your emotions, because they are a direct line of communication from your spirit to you, and it's showing you the way. So sending you so much love this week. I hope you've enjoyed this 5-part series around spiritual practices and what my favorite ones are, and there'll be more coming your way in coming weeks, so stay tuned. Love you loads. Have a beautiful weekend. See ya.